Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the KotLC Fanbase channel. My name is Joey and today I'm going to be reviewing KotLC STELLARLUNE 1-star reviews. We're going to be finding out why people didn't like the newest book of the KotLC series, STELLARLUNE. I would personally rate this book at the very least a 4 out of 5 stars, but today we're going to see why some people didn't like the book and try to argue against them. As you can tell, I'm in a festive, happy, jolly mood today, so happy holidays to everyone watching. If you're excited to see these 1-star reviews, make sure to leave a like and subscribe, and comment down below what would you rate KotLC STELLARLUNE. So with all that out of the way, let's get straight into the first review. So these reviews are coming from goodreads.com, and let's start with the first one. Samantha Alley rated it 1 star. The I'm finished button has never in my entire life felt so good. First, for the spoiler free. Please someone tell me why everything has to be repeated 600 times. I skipped over halfway through the book and understood everything. It felt like rereading the former books just with slightly different objectives. Just for those reasons though, I wouldn't have made it a 1 star. It was more the fact that after the reading 10 books, it felt as if this series could have been perfectly wrapped up in 3. Unfortunately, I doubt I will be continuing the series. So I feel like this is very harsh for what she said. She rated it 1 star basically because it was too boring, all the same information is repeated, it goes on for way too long. And I will admit that STELLARLUNE had a lot of content that needed to be revealed, like all these secrets. But that was absolutely vital to the plot. We needed to know all these things for it to progress. So I'm gonna have to disagree with this person's opinion. I don't feel like that justifies rating it as 1 star. Let's move on to the next comment. Next one, Elwood, I think. Overall, honestly, pretty disappointing. I've been a fan of KotLC, but I feel that every book since book 6 has been dragged out and disappointing. Writing is really difficult and the world of the Lost Cities is truly thought-provoking and interesting. However, recently it really feels like the story is being dragged out and milked. So this comment is really long, so I'm going to skim over it and just explain what they're talking about. So they're basically saying that this book was stretched and all of the content was stretched out just for the purpose of milking the series. And I have to disagree because I think that, as I said before, all of this stuff, this information, the caches, what's happening with Glimmer, what's happening with Keith's ability has to be revealed. We have to lay it all out on the table so the actual action can happen, you know? There are of course some things I do have to agree with, such as some chapters could have been condensed, especially when they're going through all the secrets. But all in all, I don't see how all this combined would rate it a 1 star. So I've seen some valid criticism that would definitely bring it down a couple star levels, but I've seen nothing so far to indicate that STELLARLUNE is a 1 star. So let's keep going. Okay, next one, Joy Jenkins, and they seem pretty mad. A 700-page filler book. You hear that? 700 pages of literally nothing that I waited a freaking year for. I don't dislike Shannon Messenger. This is no hate to her. This is merely a reader's opinion on a book. So again, to sum this review up, they think that nothing happened. They think that nothing of importance was revealed in this book except for, the last couple of chapters with this whole Elysian thing. And I think that you're exaggerating that so much because we did learn so much stuff. And I'm not going to disagree that maybe it was boring at some times, or it was stretched on for some times, or you could call it filler for the next book. But Shannon did say that she has been leading up to this thing, which I'm assuming is Elysian, for a long time, the entire series. So this book had to happen in order for book 10 to be, the final battle, the final stand, what's gonna happen next. And at the very end, they talked about the Sokeef kiss. And this reviewer said that they don't even care because Sophie was being a hormonal teenager. And this person doesn't like that because Sophie's trying to be the leader, but she's not because she's a teenager. But that just makes it relatable. That makes it relatable that Sophie is focused on being a normal teenager as well as trying to balance out this whole thing with the Black Swan that I've never seen. And that's just why Sophie is Sophie. We need that. She can't just be a perfect leader the whole time. That wouldn't be fun to read about. That wouldn't be relatable at all. So what this person doesn't like, I like. So I just think this person, I don't know, I have to disagree. So there was a lot of telling and not enough showing. It felt like I was reading a summary instead of a book. I was bored and I skimmed through the book towards the end just to see how it ends, and it didn't end so great. I feel like this is actually one of the reviews that makes sense, but I feel like you could have just changed this easily to 3 stars or 2 stars. Like 1 star means that there is so much room for improvement, and I don't fathom how you could rate it 1 star. Like even if you're a hater of the series, I still don't feel like 1 star just does it justice at all. But again, there's truth to this review. The first half of the book is admittedly incredibly slow. I noticed that so much when I was reading, but it picked up and it was worth it. So we recently did a poll on you know, what people would rate KotLC STELLARLUNE, and I was very happy to see these results. I know it's biased because this is just people who watch our channel, so of course they're gonna like the series, but as you can see, there's only 1% or 2% voted 2 stars and below. I personally, as I said, it would be maybe like a 4.5 stars or 4 stars, something along those lines, and I think this is very valid. I don't think it's perfect. By no means is it perfect. I think the best KotLC book still is Neverseen, but I think that STELLARLUNE is in this solid top like 4. And I won't lie, half of that is influenced because of Seward. I'm not gonna lie. So let's check out what people did like about STELLARLUNE to just see the other side of the story. I like this comment. Honestly, best book in the series because 1, of Seward, and 2, the plot wasn't really predictable like the others were. I haven't thought about this yet, but that is very true. The plot was so unpredictable. Me, and I think everybody thought that Sophie was gonna go racing after Keith and maybe find him or not. But instead what happened was Cassius actually talked Sophie out of doing that, and I think that was the right decision, but none of us predicted that was gonna happen. And the cliffhanger too, the whole Elysian thing, the whole Lady Gisela thing, I did not expect that, so I'm glad Shellbell can make something that we didn't expect. This commenter rated it a 3 because they had some great parts like finding out about Glimmer in chapter 42, but above all there was not a lot of progress. And I think that's a good point. I know what you're saying. It didn't take place over that much of time. I think it was only like a couple weeks, I think. So obviously there's only so much you can do in that time frame. But one thing I will say about the entirety of the book, I was so happy reading it. Not just because we haven't gone like a full-length KotLC book in 2 years, but I loved how Sophie was, you know, stepping up and being a leader. I loved how she was the one who was thinking about Keith. We haven't got to see that before. It was my dream come true. And we got to see Foxfire back in action, as well as Roe being cool, and all that stuff just made it so fun to read. It doesn't matter how slow it is. I found it really fun and interesting and entertaining to read the book, and I think that's the most important part. There is one thing that I'm a little bit confused about. I haven't seen any comments or reviews so far that said they didn't like the book because they ship Sophits. I'm really confused about that. I feel like I would be seeing a lot more people saying they didn't like the book because So Keith happened. And I'll be honest here, that's the reason I didn't really like Flashback compared to some of the other books, because I didn't like to read about Sophits. It's not my cup of tea, and I'm biased, so that brought my rating down a little bit. It's just how the brain works. So I'm surprised that we're not seeing a lot more of that. But I'm also relieved because maybe we're growing. Maybe the fandom as a whole is growing. We know we've accepted it that So Keith is endgame. So I think that is gonna wrap up this video. I hope you guys enjoyed seeing the other point of view of STELLARLUNE, you know, the bad reviews. It's always interesting to see the other side. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. And comment down below, what would you rate STELLARLUNE out of 5 and why? I'm really interested to see what you guys think about this or what points that were brought up in this video, so make sure to comment. And that's gonna be it for me. I hope you guys are gonna have a good break, good school break, always need that, and happy holidays, and I'll see you guys in the next video.